The Lumia 435 is Microsoft's latest budget Windows Phone device. We've got one in. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is the Microsoft Lumia 435. It's the lowest end current Windows Phone, if you like, on the market. Just announced. The one we've got in here is actually a dual SIM version from Vietnam, I believe. So little teeny tiny box. Literally all you get in there is the phone and a charger. So we'll get rid of that. So here's the phone. It's really small, little chunky. If anybody ever touched the Android-powered Nokia X, it's kind of reminiscent of that in terms of the form factor. It's very sort of square, little chunky, and you know, if you put the two side by side with the screens off, you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference. So what do we have in terms of the hardware? So we've got a 4-inch 480 by 800 resolution display. Inside we've got a 1.2 gigahertz dual core CPU, Snapdragon 200, 8 gigabytes of onboard storage, 1 gigabyte of RAM. Now that's the important part here. Microsoft is future-proofing itself. There's no more 512 devices coming out. This and the 532 that was announced alongside it both have a full gigabyte of RAM. We've got a micro SD card slot inside, with support for up to 128 gigabytes, which is really nice, especially for a budget phone. Around the back is a 2 megapixel fixed focus camera. We've got no flash or any of that sort of thing. Speaker here at the bottom, and there is a very small low resolution front facing camera up there at the front. So all in all, ticks most of the boxes for a budget smartphone. This rather vivid orange cover is removable. It's a lot of a pain to get off, and that again is something that was kind of reminiscent on the Nokia X. It was very difficult to get this off. There's no kind of real grip points to get in and sort of take it off. It's very snug around the edges, so you have to sort of just get your fingers in there and try and rip it off. So when it's off, inside we have a removable battery, which is great. It's not the biggest capacity in the world, but then it doesn't really need to be. It's a 1560 milliamp hour battery. So a little teeny tiny, but replaceable. And so we've got under here, we've got the dual SIM card slots and micro SD card slot underneath as well. But we'll leave that all in place. The cover itself, this lovely orange. Unlike something like the 535, this is a matte finish. So we've got the Microsoft logo here, kind of embossed into the cover. It's very faintly visible there on the camera, but you can feel it when you rub your fingers over it. But it's a matte finish rather than the glossy finish you get on the 535. So if we bring in the 830, it's similar texture, it's a little different feeling, but same kind of colour effect. So definitely less fingerprinty. In terms of the operating system, it's coming with Windows 8.1 and the latest Lumia Denim firmware, which obviously on a phone such as this is less important than on the high-end stuff, but it is of course coming with the latest out of the box, which we like to see. So we've got things like Cortana. With this one being a Vietnamese phone, there were a couple of Vietnamese apps preloaded which I've already removed, but otherwise it's pretty much business as usual. There's very Lumia VIP here, that's another Vietnamese app. There's not really anything preloaded. We've got a couple of bits, and the Game Loft hub, which always seems to make its way in, but otherwise all the important apps we've got there. Briefly mentioned the cameras before. We have obviously the Lumia camera app, the classic version, but as we've mentioned, it's fixed focus, and well, the best thing we can probably say at this stage about it is that it has a camera and it's there and it's good to see. Just a quick comparison as well in terms of the size. We'll just bring in a couple of other devices to size it up. So obviously, you know, we've mentioned it's a 4-inch device. It's not the biggest one in the world, but if we size it up here against some of the others, we've got the 735 there. It's a little chunkier, but much shorter. 635, again, same difference, a little chunkier, but much shorter. So we're going to give this the full review treatment in the next couple of weeks. First impressions are pretty good. The display is actually not that bad. I mean, obviously the resolution at this size is reasonable, especially for a budget phone, and you know, it's a little reflective, but it's arguably similar to the Lumia 635 in terms of overall quality. Maybe even just a little bit better. You know, we'll put the two side by side properly, and we'll take a look at those. In terms of the operating system, as you would expect, Windows Phone runs silky smooth. No real issues running anything. Obviously, we're not going to be putting this to work on any high-end games or anything like that, but first impression is pretty good. So there we go. There's a quick first look at the Microsoft Lumia 435. Stay tuned to Windows Central for the full review. Thanks for watching.